Hey guys, Bradley Flowers here. I'm an agent with Alpha Insurance in Saraland, Alabama, just north of Mobile, Alabama. I wanted to come to you today to talk about the difference between term versus whole life insurance. When it comes to life insurance, typically there's two different categories. There's term and there's whole life. The biggest difference is a simple example I like to do, which is buying a house versus renting a house. Term is very similar to renting a house. You build no equity in the policy and you're only there for a specific amount of time. Whole life is more permanent and you build equity in the policy. The biggest example I could give you with that is a term policy is typically only good for a specific amount of time. So say a 30-year term. It's only good for 30 years typically, and what will happen at the end of that 30 years is the premium will either go up or the policy will stop. Typically when it goes up exponentially. A whole life policy, on the other hand, is a little more expensive on the front end, so it's going to be more expensive than a term at the initial point of purchase, but the premium is never going to go up typically, and it stays the same usually until age 100. So you're locked into that policy, and if you bought two of those side by side and never changed them, typically in the long run your term policy is going to be more expensive than your whole life policy. The other factor is in the whole life policy you build equity within that policy, so you build cash value in the policy that you can borrow against or pull out with a partial withdrawal in a lot of cases. And in a lot of cases you end up with actually more cash value in the policy than you've even paid in. Obviously every situation varies, but typically that's what we found. The biggest reason I give my clients for doing whole life versus term is in the United States of America, more than 9 out of 10 people who purchase term policies will actually outlive those policies. Whereas with a whole life policy, you've got it forever, so you're not gonna outlive it as long as you keep paying it. That's the biggest example. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call.